I'm just peppy. Yeah, well, people know I mean business by how expensive I am. Good things cost good money. I'm cheap.
Day One Patch Kids DM'd this to me, and I thought it was like spectacular. So I posted it up on my X account. You remember G4? The first iteration of G4 Flash? Do you remember it?
Barely, but yeah. It was back when it was actually an okay TV show.
Well, they had some pretty, I don't know, it was a product of its time, right? This is about when the Wii and the PlayStation 3 were coming out. And this was also a time where the Mac versus PC ads were coming out. Do you remember those? The commercials with, it was like, I'm a Mac and I'm a PC, and the PC was all nerdy and the Mac was all cool. Remember those?
Yeah.
Pretty iconic. Well, they did a spoof of that. I think, how about we just watch it and tell me how upset people would be today if this commercial was released. And this was obviously a skit on G4, but if this was released on G4 or any outlet today, the amount of chaos that would ensue by game journalists. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Oe, and I'm a PlayStation 3. I like go-karts. Vroom, vroom. My interests are World War II combat, karaoke, and tackle football. I'm just as cute as a button. Well, I'm educated and worldly, but if you're just looking to have a good time, good luck on figuring out which buttons of mine to push. And by the way, my vibrating features have been disabled.
By the way, I love how when the other girl's talking, they just totally
groups.
Right. Here we go.
All you have to do is just touch me, and you'll have the time of your life. But I'm multi-layered, well-rounded for multiple players, and ready to rule your life with all my multi-applications and multi-ambitions. I am large and in charge. I'm just peppy. Yeah, well, people know I mean business by how expensive I am. Good things cost good money. I'm cheap and fun. Have you ever even heard of the Blu-ray? It's the future! High definition, a viewing experience like you've never seen. Oh! See you soon.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that, Blabs?
It was great.
What was the one that left advertising again?
It's funny because I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out and it was so expensive. Everybody was dunking on it because they were pushing all of this nonsense that nobody cared about. It was great. Takes me back to the olden days.
100%. And like, could you imagine if the reboot of G4 a couple of years ago released something like that? And like if they launched with something like that for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch or something like,
it might still be around.
Maybe. And just
instead we got Frosk.
Right.
Yeah, but they might have actually launched it with like Frosk in a bikini or like some overweight bimbo in a bikini, and it wouldn't have had the same effect.
I loved my favorite thing about this. She goes, I'm
cheap.
I'm just as cute as a button.
I'm cute as a button. And it's like,
I've never heard someone say that in like maybe 2 decades.
Well, she's representing the Wii at the time. I mean, it was
absolutely PlayStation 3 she was saying.
No. She was the Wii. The other girl, the heavyset girl, was the PlayStation 3.
Sorry, there's so many boobs and
in hindsight, though. In hindsight, the Wii fucking sucks.
What? The Wii was awesome. What are you talking about?
Fucking suck. I hate motion controls, man.
Oh yeah.
I hate motion controls.
I mean, most
of the games were shovelware.
Yes.
Like I just didn't dig the console. I like the Wii U more.
Really?
Maybe that's a hot take, but
that is a hot take.
I was happy that we were at least going back to a controller. Even though it was a big mess of a controller. At least I'm not waving my arms around like a jackass.
I think that the Wii was a phenomenal console for Nintendo games. I think very few and far between were third-party games on the Wii great. But obviously, when you have their first party Nintendo making games for their first party console, they know all the ins and outs of it, and they produce really good stuff. I mean, they gave us Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2. You know,
I never played Mario Galaxy until the 3D All-Stars game. I loved it. I tried to play. I had a Wii, and I tried to play it, but the problem was I just couldn't get over having like my hands separated and having to wiggle that remote. I didn't like that. I don't like motion controls.
I don't
glad that that's kind of a dead feature now.
Yeah. Agreed. I think we all agree that motion controls, they were a great gimmick for their time, right? But what it did was, I think that you're right. The Wii U was a better console, at least from a technical perspective, than the Wii. It was just
great games on that too.
Yes, yeah. And you're also right. The vast majority of games on the Wii were shovelware, but it's also the same thing with the cell phone. The vast majority of games on your cell phone are shovelware, and the reason is that the user base was so big on the Wii, and the demographic for the Wii was so broad because you had grandpas playing it and kids playing it, and everywhere else in between. And that's what made the Wii so much fun. I mean, I think everybody has this story of like when they played the Wii with their grandpa at Christmas time, and they played bowling, or you know what I mean? And I think that's cool. That's really cool. Now, was it the best console ever? No, but I think it may have been the best console for Nintendo at that time, because they're coming off the GameCube. The GameCube's a failure. They need something.
I love the GameCube. I hate calling it a failure because so many good games on it.
Listen, I mean,
I know. I get what you're saying. It was a failure, but I loved the GameCube, man.
Yeah,
just the Wii was just not a good place for me. I just didn't like it.
I actually recently played the Wii in the last like 6 months, and it was one of the ones that you had to like point at the screen, so it's all about the motion and everything. It was awful, so bad, because these games were just like for that specific time period, and now it's like it's very frustrating to play a Wii game now.
Well, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you at all. But for its time, I think it was great.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun when I was a kid, especially like Mario Kart with friends. That was awesome.
I wish we could get Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Switch. I really do.
Right.
Because I loved playing the first. The first one was really good.
People were pissed that
I almost completed it.
Yeah, people were pissed that it wasn't included in the new All-Stars version. That was what 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah, it's stupid that it wasn't in there.
Yeah, it definitely should. There was all the rumors like you can unlock it by beating all the games and blah blah blah. I did appreciate all that. So